Well, it's now the most common form of injury from car accidents. Whiplash affecting the neck is the basis for thousands of insurance claims every year, and the payouts run to more than $1 billion. But car crashes aren't the only cause of whiplash, and many sufferers find there's no quick recovery. Well, now there's a machine that's being used by trained physiotherapists, making a difference for some of those long-term sufferers, as Tara Brown reports.
The teenagers were only just arriving at the council-run disco when suddenly the balcony railing near the entrance collapsed.
What do you remember most from that accident?
Probably the noise of everyone, like the screaming and crying, and it was horrible.
As everyone fell?
Yeah, and the noise of everyone hitting the ground.
For Carissa Lane, it's not just the mental scars that are taking a long time to heal. 6 years after falling from a collapsing balcony, this 21-year-old still has chronic whiplash.
It's not really bad, but it's like this constant ache in my neck, and when I get a migraine it gets even worse, and it's horrible.
How desperate are you to find something that will actually fix your whiplash?
Very. I've tried everything, and after this, if this didn't work, I was going to try acupuncture, but hopefully this will work.
This is the multi-cervical rehabilitation unit, or as it's more commonly known, the neck machine.
Is to take your chin down to your chest when you hear the voice 3 times, as far as you comfortably can, okay?
Carissa has just started her treatment on the neck machine, recently installed at the Sydney Whiplash Centre in Narrabeen, run by physiotherapist Nick Starris.
All right, Carissa, what I want you doing now is pushing your head sideways into the pad as hard and as fast as you can for me. When you hear the voice, you're going to hold that for 3 seconds. You ready to go? What we're finding with a lot of people that have had chronic pain is they have significant weakness in their neck.
According to Nick, that weakness has never before been as accurately tested, and in many cases is completely missed in CAT scans, MRIs and ultrasounds. Once it's assessed, a series of neck strengthening exercises are custom made for the patient.
A lot of the people that we get to us are put on antidepressants by their doctors, are sent to see psychiatrists because all these other scans are normal. I've had people told bluntly that these problems are in their head, and when we assess them here, the problems aren't in their head. They've got a definite problem in the strength of their neck muscles, which is a very easy fix.
What does this machine do?
Essentially what it does is it enables us to measure the strength of the muscles that support the neck. Okay? And if we detect a weakness, we can then correct it on the machine so we can bring the strength back to normal.
I'm still on antidepressants. I still sort of burst into tears, and the pain is the worst I've ever had, and it's constant. I do not get a break from it. I've had like migraine, headaches and pain since the accident.
A drunk driver hit the car Penny Creven was a passenger in head-on 2 years ago and changed her life forever. Blurred vision, balance problems and severe neck pain are just some of her symptoms.
Penny is probably one of the worst whiplash cases that we've ever seen. Her symptoms were immediate and just totally unabated for 2.5 years. It just destroyed her life. What I'll get you to do, coming down to the left side first, just tilting your head to the side.
It's like going to a gym and starting a gym routine for the first time, and because you're strapped in, your neck's isolated, so you can't help with your shoulders, or you're literally using the muscles that are very, very weakened by your injury, and it's hard work. I mean, I quite often break out in a sweat.
Penny has been using the machine 3 times a week since April this year with a month's break, and has experienced a 70% improvement.
Is that feeling okay?
Fine. It's basically alleviated the high-level, really severe chronic pain, which I used to be sort of bedridden with.
But it hasn't yet fixed it completely?
Not entirely. I mean, it's not a miracle cure, but it's, I apparently will have a permanent disability of about 20%. So the doctors have told me, the specialists have told me. But I'm not convinced. I think if I keep going with this machine a bit longer, I might be able to make some headway on that too.
Basically, from 1985 up until now, 1999, I've been seeking different kinds of treatment, from the migraine headaches I was suffering and the pain in my neck I would get all the time.
34-year-old Donna Crumpton's face was so badly injured in the head-on collision she had, no one at the time thought of her neck. All the treatments she's tried have failed after a few days, except for the neck machine.
Just do a couple more for me.
I felt the strength in my neck build up straight away, and I wasn't having to hold my head all the time. And by the 3rd week, when I had the first reassessment done, the improvement to myself was just amazing. I wasn't having to, I was free, basically, was what the feeling was.
What is the success rate of a machine like this?
From the patients we've put through, and our centre in Melbourne has put through, 9 out of 10 people get an improvement. On average, we're finding of around 60% in their symptoms.
So to get the results that she's described is obviously fabulous for her, but did it surprise you?
In all honesty, it did, very much so, and it's a pretty pleasant surprise when it happens that way. When you can turn somebody's life around that way, that's one of the reasons that we do this job, and we can have that big an effect on somebody. It's pretty satisfying.
Yeah, great news. Tara Brown with that report. And we emphasise that treatment is only available under supervision from trained physiotherapists. But of course, not all have invested in the substantial cost of the neck machine. In fact, we know of only 4 in the country, in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth.